Hi friends, welcome back to the another video of Engineers Academy. So friends, since all the previous videos we have been learning about the different press tool design. We have covered the different cutting operations followed by the forming operations. In the last video we have learned bending, drawing, redrawing and squeezing operation. Now all of these operations are carried out on this die set, and this die set is having the different components which is located inside. How to identify all of these components? So in order to do that, we need to understand and we need to learn the press working terminology. Now this terminology states the different parts associated into this die assembly. So friends, in this video we are going to learn this press working terminology. We are going to identify all the different parts. So if you are new over here on my educational channel, please subscribe and please press the bell icon. So whenever I upload a new educational informative video, you will get instant notification. And ultimately friends, your subscription, your likes, your shares, your comments, that really motivates me to make more of such educational content. So please subscribe. Also it is very free of cost. Moving ahead to our topic, press working terminology, the different parts in press tool design, or we can call it as a simple die set. Now this is a die set into which my male part, that is the punch, goes into the die cavity and gives a form to this sheet metal workpiece. So there are different components which really matters. So starting with the bed. The bed is the lower part of the press frame that serves as a table to which a bolster plate is mounted. Now over here, this is the bed upon which this bolster plate is mounted, or we can call it as a base plate is mounted. Next is the bolster plate. So it is a very thick plate secured to press bed, which is used for locating and supporting the entire die assembly. It is usually 5 to 12.5 centimeters thick, means 50 mm up to 125 mm thick. This is bolster plate. The entire die block assembly, it is rested on this bolster plate. Suppose, so this is my entire die block assembly which is gets assembled on this particular plate. So this is the plate which is, this is known as the bolster plate. So it is very heavily, it is made up of the cast iron. It is very heavy, bulky, rugged kind of a bolster plate. The next is nothing but the die set. So die set, it is a unit assembly which incorporates lower and upper shoe, two or more guide parts, guide post, guide part bushings. Now friends, this is the entire die assembly that consists of this upper shoe. This portion is the upper shoe, this is my lower shoe, and these are the guide bushes, or we can call it as a guide post. Over here you can see this is the animation. These four are the guide post through which my this punch holder, it's reciprocates. This is the upper shoe and this one is the lower shoe. So this entire assembly is known as the die set. Next is nothing but the die block. So it is a block or a plate which contains actual die cavity. So over here, this portion that contains the actual die cavity, this portion contains the actual die cavity. So this is known as the die block. This is known as this die block. Next is the lower shoe. As we have seen over here, this is the lower shoe. In this model, the guide post, these two guide posts are connected at the bottom. This particular base plate we can termed as a lower shoe, and for this model. Next is the punch, the male part which goes inside into the cavity. This the male part goes into the cavity is known as the punch. Upper shoe. So this particular portion is known as the upper shoe. Over here, this reciprocating plate which is on top termed as upper shoe. Punch plate. Now this particular punch plate actually holds the punch. This plate is termed as a punch plate, and there is another plate that is known as the backup plate. This backup plate supports the punch and punch plate. Suppose while carrying out the punching operation into this die cavity, suppose there is excessive pressure gets developed on punch in this portion, then punch will get failure. Punch plate, it will get squeezed. So ultimately this die block gets affected just because of the higher pressure gets developed. Now this backup plate, it is used for backup itself. Whenever there is a excessive pressure, this plate distributes all of this excessive pressure over the area. So hence it is known as this backup plate, which is very important for the punch and the punch holder to avoid crushing itself. The next one is the stripper, or we can call it as a stripper plate. So friends, while carrying out this drawing operation, okay, while carrying out this drawing operation, whenever the punch goes, punch moves on a top side or moves upwards, some of the material gets stick to the punch and it tries to come upwards. So in order to avoid that, there is another plate which holds the blank. So this is known as a stripper plate. Now this particular plate is acts as a stripper plate over here. This plate is acts as a stripper plate. So it is a plate which is used to strip the metal strip from cutting a non-cutting punch or die. It may also guide the sheet. So that was the stripper plate. And the last one is the knockout. So the knockout, it is a mechanism usually connected and operated by a press ram from freeing the workpiece from the die. Now this is the knockout mechanism. So friends, over here this is the knockout pin on both the sides. This knockout pin, it is operated by a press ram, means this knockout pin can move in and out. And over here this will be my final product. Now this final product, it is having multiple punching as well as the piercing operation. As you can see, this is the punched holes over here. So in order to move this final product from die cavity, we need a knockout pin that pushes the part outwards. So over here, in case of the round shape, you can see this knockout pin is used, and this is the pushing action on the outward side from the die cavity. Now this knockout pin or knockout, it is a mechanism itself, and it is usually suitable for all of these complex parts, different complex parts that can be, removed from this die cavity. So friends, This is all the different parts of this simple die set. So I hope you have understood this press working terminology. So if you're having any queries, any doubts, please feel free to comment, and please do subscribe to my educational channel, Jonas Academy.